don't have
Good enough up.
Okay. Today's March 14th, 2017, 7 p.m. City Council meeting. Looks like it's going to be good and short, hopefully. So, recognize groups or any individuals. Anything? Fred?
No, sir.
You should.
If I had something to say, I'd say it.
Okay. Bids, contracts, proposals, service request for this hydraulic derrick truck bid. Larry, you want to talk about that?
Yes, sir. Jeff is giving y'all a memo, and we asked really that we delay to a committee meeting so we can talk more about it. It's a one bid response. It was received considerably higher than our budget, which was a year-old quote. And so we want to take it to committee and talk about it. And that's coming up. The proposal. We just got a text from the other company, Terex, and said due to the volume of their business, they couldn't bid. And I believe it's probably a more expensive truck. So we can talk about it in the electric meeting, the next regular scheduled meeting. The bid's good until after that.
What's a derrick truck?
It digs holes and places poles, light poles.
It's the transformers.
Got a big lift.
It's like a crane, a little crane, and it's got a bigger attachment.
Okay.
The other one is kind of unsafe to lift such heavy pieces like the transformers and that. They've dropped expensive transformer too. They dropped that, and they've done repairs, and it's gotten to the point that the repairs are way beyond what the cost of the truck. So what they're going to do is the old digger truck, they're going to take it and use it at the two sewer plants to lift those aerators out of the water, and then that's what they're going to do with that.
It's purchased new in '92.
So, and the old one is still good enough to lift those aerators out of the water to sewer plants, so we still get to utilize it. And so we'll put that on hold until further. There's no HRB or DRBs, no correspondence. Review of the minutes, the regular city council meeting. You guys had to review those.
Do we maintain the audio tapes on all meetings?
Yes, sir. Everyone.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular council meetings of February 28th, 2017. And if it's in order, I'll make the motion to approve the working session meeting minutes of 3/7/2017, or 3/7/2017.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Discussion? No changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion adopted. The financial report, Nelson County E911 Central Dispatch proposed budget. You guys had that. Want to take a look at it? Dean and I have discussed it. He's went over it. I went over it.
I never got that.
It was, I had to send it out in an email, but I have a copy here.
All right.
It was late on Friday afternoon, or was it Monday that we got it?
Monday.
Monday we got it from Dean.
Okay, I must have missed that email. Or did it have an agenda attached to it too?
No, sir, that was it. That's all we
just
got.
Huh.
I didn't get that email either.
Oh, this looks familiar. I may have got
So is some of this stuff coming over on an iPad and some of it coming in paper form?
It's not iPad, it's through your email.
You have to check your email.
So however you receive your email, that's how we send it. And this was just a last minute kind of thing the dean gave to us at the last minute, and I thought maybe you'd want to consider it tonight. If you don't, then we certainly can look at it at another time.
Yeah, I think I did see that.
think, didn't Dean tell us, the fiscal court's gonna look at it next week for their,
28th,
no, theirs is on the 21st.
25%?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have some time if you want to wait until the 28th to consider it.
He's gonna submit his for the Tuesday's meeting.
Yeah, and I think we, by the new interlocal agreement, and before, we have to approve that, the city council has to approve that.
The 129, is that what we agreed to spend? 129? If I pulled it up yet, I just pulled it off the top of my head.
Right.
Is that gonna be a standard, amount from the city?
Was it 40% or 130,000, whichever was less?
We're gonna do it.
Whatever was left.
Less, right.
So it's 130,000 plus plus you have the E911 fees that's attached to it, and also you have what?
The $24
Property
is
taxes
attached.
we pay too, so.
$24 are attached to your county tax bill
Yes.
for all city residents too.
I think it's actually 40% of what us and the county pays, not the other collective fees.
It would be the,
It's out of the whole
the budget minus the revenue that comes from the outside sources, and then that would be divided, and would be the lesser 40%. Yeah. And then during that time period, for those of y'all that weren't around, there at some point there may be extraordinary costs, and during our negotiations, we said that surely the city council would consider that if it was something that was extraordinary, that, that we didn't just out of hand dismiss that.
Basically blew up or something like that.
Well, what we've done is the fire department has done just as well, is that we have, what's the radio company? RNS? Yeah. So what they've done for the fire department, they come out here and they actually retune the radios and they put in a amplifier. And for the fire department, it's been working really well. They actually can go to E-Town and talk. We have now done that with the police department, because during this negotiation, the biggest complaint we had with dispatch is our radio system. So I think, is that up and running now, Chief, I think?
No, sir, we're waiting on the emergency generator. All the hardware is there for it to be up and running, and the new 20-foot tower has been put on the old water tower up here. So it gives us 180 feet instead of 150 feet in height. We're putting in an emergency generator at the base and going to fuel that with propane. So we got the pad, the propane, we're just waiting on the delivery of the generator. Once that's in place, we'll start the process of getting the radios up and running, hopefully within the next 2 weeks.
And our radio tower was at the RECC out there, and we were not getting a good or proper signal. So we decided to move out here, make an investment to move the antenna to the water tower and buy the extra radio equipment where our guys could actually hear each other and get off the tin cans and string. So.
And with this new system, and actually the handhelds that we use now, which are supposed to be limited distance, will actually be able to be heard at New Haven, in that area. It's a big repeater system for us.
Yes.
There wasn't any way we could use the 911 generator they got, or?
It's not there at the water tower. There's nothing at the
Oh, it's the water tower.
It's at the water tower, right.
I'm thinking police station, because their generator's right behind it.
Right, we use that now, but this is for the water tower, in case of a power failure, it'll kick in automatically. We won't have any hesitation.
That answers my question.
Yes,
So
sir.
our guys are the fire department, Southern Gunner, he built the little shed where all the equipment and the generator's gonna be. He's done all that, so we didn't hire none of that done. He's done all that. It's been done in-house.
I don't think, in having gone through this process at Sunlit, I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary in this budget, Mayor. I think it's in line with what the new agreement was supposed to do, so I don't see any reason why you all couldn't approve it tonight. If you all wanted to delay action, that's fine, but I don't see any reason why you couldn't.
I don't have any problem. I was on 911 board for several years, and I've seen them go through the budget process, and I trust their process.
So is that a motion?
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the E911 Central Dispatch proposed budget for fiscal year 2018 as presented.
First by Kelly,
I'll second.
second by Shekels. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion's adopted. Thank you guys, appreciate it. There's no first readings. There is a second reading for B 2017-06, the budget amendments for FY 16-17.
An ordinance amending ordinance number B 2016-06, the City of Bardstown's budget ordinance for the fiscal year July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017. Whereas an annual budget for fiscal year 16-17 was adopted by the City Council of the City of Bardstown on June 28, 2016, and whereas there have been unanticipated changes in both revenues and expenditures during that period of time. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Bardstown, Kentucky that Section 1, the annual budget for the fiscal year 2016-17 be and is hereby amended as follows. Number 1, General Fund, increase anticipated revenues from $8,494,379 to $8,692,261, and increase authorized expenditures from $8,435,205 to $8,609,266, receiving several grants in the fire department and police department, and transferring in the prior year fund balance. Number 2, combined utilities fund, increase the anticipated revenues from $39,684,160 to $39,966,160, and decrease expenditures from $39,662,025 to $39,130,279, transferred in the prior year fund balance. Number 3, land acquisition fund, increase anticipated revenues from $0 to $269,000, and increase authorized expenditures from $15,000 to $284,000, land sale pass-through to BIDC. Section 2, the annual budget is hereby amended and attached hereto, reflecting the above referenced amendments to the general and combined utility funds, revenues, and expenditures that comprise the fiscal year 16-17 budget for the City of Bardstown. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict are hereby repealed to the extent of that conflict. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect following publication as required by law.
Mayor, if I'm in order,
Sure.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve B 2017-06 budget amendments for year 2016-2017 as read, and I yield the floor for a second.
Second by Mr. Button. Discussion? Okay. This vote has to be individual. Kelly, I'll start with you.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Motion's adopted. Let's move on. There's no unfinished business. New business is municipal order M 2017-06, the tax assessment moratorium on 215 East Flagey.
I'll read it for just a second, please. Municipal Order M 2017-06, a municipal order accepting the application for a tax assessment moratorium certificate for the property located at 215 East Flagey Avenue, Bardstown, Kentucky. Be it ordered by the City Council of the City of Bardstown, Kentucky, Section 1, that the application for assessment moratorium certificate for the property located at 215 East Flagey Avenue, Bardstown, Kentucky, is hereby accepted, and further expressing the city's intent to grant an assessment moratorium to the owner of said property upon compliance with the city's property assessment and reassessment moratoriums as defined in KRS Chapter 99.595 at SEEK. Section 2, that this order shall take effect and be in full force when passed and recorded according to law.
Make a motion that we adopt municipal order M 2017-06.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion?
I'd just like to make a comment about it.
Sure.
This is one of the fewest incentives that we really have in our historic district. And it is a good incentive, especially if you're going to spend quite a bit of money on a renovation. So glad Fred's doing this, and encourage anybody else that gets that opportunity. You really need to take advantage of that. And I think it's probably going after state and federals too, tax credits, I think. So.
Is Pastor Elijah here?
Yeah, he is. I brought him along as a legal. He showed me the ropes.
Okay, is there anything else? All in favor? Those opposed? Okay, motion's adopted. Reappointment of Claire Mackin Fulkerson to the Wickland Board, 1-year term, expired 3/10/2017.
I make a motion that we reappoint Claire Mackin Fulkerson to the Wickland Board for 1-year term.
Thank you.
Okay,
I'll second.
second by Bill. Discussion? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion's adopted on that one. New appointment of Courtney Taylor, Board of Adjustments, 4-year term, which expires on 2/28/2021. I sent you a bio because I figured you'd asked for it. So, hope y'all had time to read that.
I'll make a motion we approve Courtney Taylor to the Board of Adjustments, 4-year term, expires on 2/28/2021.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
I'll second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
I should have had discussion first, but that's okay. Those opposed? All right. Motion's adopted on that. Thank you, gentlemen. City council member comments?
Did we need to do the safety committee meeting?
No, those were just for your review,
Okay.
but if you'd like to talk about it, certainly would.
Go to that.
Minutes, I think everybody got a copy of minutes, did they not?
Yes, they did.
Well, let's back up to number 9. Reports of staff and committees. Safety committee meeting held on 3/9/2017. Bill, you wanna roll him?
It's John.
I'm sorry,
It's
John?
Yeah.
Look right over you, I'm sorry.
Well, the minutes pretty much speak for themselves. Of course, the safety committee primarily deals with the police department and the fire department. And the meeting started out with the police department, and one of the things that was discussed there is that Chief Urim had I think mentioned before at a council meeting or something that we had a retention problem with the police department, and he says due to our salary, so he presented a salary survey of various departments in the surrounding area, and he said to stay competitive, we would need to increase our pay by 25%. And I think, and Bill, if I misstate what you said, I'll let you jump in here or, clarify me, but Councilman Shekels, point out back when he was mayor that the pay was similar or it's gone up, I think 4% or something. There's been some sort of increase since that time. But there was not any retention problems at that time, and you had plenty of officers that wanted to join the department, and that it was probably something other than a salary issue. That fair statement, or?
Well, the statement that I made was that money's not the main reason. I don't think is the only reason we're not being able to retain police officers. There's other things involved in that department other than being the number one thing to retain a police officer would be his pay. Of course, we'd all like to make more money, naturally, but there's more things involved in that than the money. So that's what I said.
All right, and in the fire department section, Chief Walker discussed his strategic plan and brought it, he had discussed it before, previous safety committee meetings, but he was the only existing member of the previous safety committee meeting, so he went over with us, the new safety committee on that and what his strategic plan is. He also discussed the Insurance Services Organization report of 2013 and his goal to increase our rating from a 5 to something much better in the future. We talked about some of the areas that he's met that and was working on, training being one of them. He says he's made a lot of strides in training. Some of the others are going to require some budget items. He says he's also looking for grants. Then he also discussed pay for the fire department personnel. He says he wasn't necessarily looking for a raise in the pay rates, but he said that at least one area, fire department, will give a incentive pay on training. So if, in other words, if you pass some sort of training, you get maybe 25 cents an hour more. And I think there was like 4 or 5 areas that you could earn up to $1 or $1.25 an hour more. And he was asking that be looked at the next budget. And then we adjourned, and the next meeting is going to be Thursday, June 8th, 2017 at 5 p.m. at the Mayor's Conference Room.
Well, with a little update on that, I think the Sheriff's Department is $5 an hour higher than the Bardstown City Police Department. That was told yesterday. And to add to what, onto those reported the minutes, as I had discussed with, in those minutes, just not more than weeks ago did we have over a half a dozen people leave EMS, and you would have to question, is that leadership bill due to Joe Pruitt and Dean Watts, or is that money? Well, that was, I'll tell you what it was money. It's about money. We have guys now that the police department has changed. We now have a set of policies and procedures that this chief here strictly enforces it. And you may have officers that's been used to hanging out with each other or going down to the watering hole and having a feel, and this chief doesn't allow that. We have rules and policies and procedures in place now for the first time ever. He enforces it. We have supervisors that enforce it. And is that going to be, maybe rub some people the wrong way? Yes. When you have rules and you enforce those rules and they haven't never been enforced before, it's going to rub people the wrong way. So, with that being said, it is about money.
Well, I mean,
We have a great leadership. You couldn't get anybody better than that chief back there, and I think Coach Williams even said that himself. Coach Williams chose Chief Young out of the applicants. So with that being said, it has nothing to do other than maybe some have got their feathers ruffled. If you want to discuss that further, Bill, come to my office, I'll pull their personnel jackets.
This is not a slap against Chief Urim. This is, a 25% increase in the police budget I don't think is going to be the answer to the problem.
Well, when you go through several mayors back, including yours, through Mayor Dick Eaton's administration, there was 0 raises, while the county still got raises. Through your administration, you only got, 2% on 2 years. In 2 years, they didn't get anything. And then the mayor before that?
That's incorrect. Yeah. But anyway, it's not, like I said,
there's lots of money.
It's, in any business that you look at, whether you be in the reporting business or car business or building business, everybody wants more money. But a 25% increase in the police budget, but to affect this budget, I don't think that's
I think he wants to wait till the next budget.
I don't think it will be fair to all the other departments either in the city. But like I say, in every walk of life, in every business, people all want more money. But when you look at the big picture of things, money's probably not money can probably go down maybe 5 or 6 down the line. So, you know, you got, well, money's not the main issue. It could be one of the issues, but I don't think it's the main issue.
Mr. Mayor, I think Chief also said you would do a comparison for us, taking into account benefits and all that from surrounding police departments.
Yes, sir.
So-
We're in the midst of pulling that information.
It's my understanding that our benefits is a pretty nice package compared to other cities. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Because there's people that come to, that have come to our police department. Some have come for pay, some have come for better working conditions, some have come for benefit packages, and some have even come for less pay because of the work environment. And I'm only speaking in terms past. And I do know that there have, in times past, there have been a waiting line of eligible recruits that would like to come and work for the city of Bardstown. Now, in the last year and a half, we go to officers leaving for whatever reason. We're not fully staffed. And some have left, but not very few have left for pay. So when you say pay is a major issue, I'm not necessarily buying it. So I don't know one other person that's left in the last 6 months or so left because of pay. So you got 24, 25 officers still there. Some are left, but only one has left because of pay. So that's why I question whether it's all about the money. But anyway, we'll address that come budget time.
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know that we did receive a letter from the family of of the retired Lieutenant General Hal Moore. It's from his son Stephen Moore, and I was wondering if you have just a minute, I'd like to read his comments. Dear Mayor Royalty, our family is grateful to you and the town for the honor bestowed on Dad through your proclamation. It was fitting and proper to make the day for veterans rather than just Dad. When we worked with the Army on the memorial and graveside services, we made sure they knew Dad would want any honor given to him extended to all who served. As Dad's kids, we are grateful to Bardstown for providing the environment that shaped Dad as we inherited that same set of values from him. Thank you so much, Steve Moore.
There's, any comments or anything else? Okay, cemetery deeds, you got Rebecca and David Lee Wycliffe, 2 grave sites. John Brose, one grave site. What is it, Tamala. Connor Pratt for 1 grave site. Lisa Connor, 1 grave site. And I'll approve those if it's okay by unanimous consent. Thank you guys, and there's an announcement. Jason Tingle, electric department has 10 years. And Eric Walker at Town Creek Sewer Plant has 15 years. See them, congratulate them, and I'll accept a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Meeting's adjourned, thank you.